Hey there everyone, Greg Marchand here. Welcome to another episode of the Virtual Instructor-Led Training Program brought to you by the Service Sales Academy. This episode we're going to talk about 3 secrets of honesty, getting customers to believe you. The problem is our reputation, right? And we hear it all the time. I hear it all the time when I ask people, how do you feel about having your car worked on? And they always say to me, I hate it. They're trying to sell me something I don't need. And that goes back to our reputation. I mean, really the problem is our reputation. And so in our classes where we talk about building trust with customers, we recognize the fact that we have to get around the reputation that you didn't create, that you didn't build. But we've got to build trust with customers, and as part of that, we've got to get customers to think that we are truly being honest with them. I really believe that this is easier than we think it is sometimes. There's some easy ways to fix this problem. Third-party affirmation is really, to me, the best. Because if a third party tells the customer that it's true, and I tell the customer it's true, they're more likely to believe me. If you can position yourself as the expert, this is pretty good too, but it kind of relates to the third-party affirmation. You've got to provide your customer a resource where they can see you as the expert, but not feel like you're selling them something. And then, look, using technicians is a great way to show some honesty as well. Customers tend to respond really, really positively when you give them the opportunity to talk with the technician that's working on their automobile. So let's look at these 3 things. Now, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that we have the reputation we have. I know you didn't create the industry reputation, but it's there, and you have to recognize it, and you have to deal with it. So let's not hide from it. Let's not say that's the other guy or girl, not us. Recognize that customers they see it as all one, okay? And it's up to you, with that customer in front of you at the service counter, to change this whole situation. Why do you, as a human, why do you perceive someone as being honest or dishonest, if you want to think of it like that? Maybe you know, because you know the same information they're giving you, that what they're saying is true. So it's coming out of their mouth. You happen to already know that, yes, that's true. That person must be honest. Instead of, I remember being in a big box retailer recently and had a person look at me and say, you don't want to do this because of XYZ. And I knew what they said to me was absolutely wrong. It was an urban myth. And I thought, wow, okay, I can't believe a thing this person's going to tell me from here on out. But if they had told me, you know how people say this, but really that's not true, and I knew that information already, I would have gone, wow, they're being really honest, and I would have believed everything they'd said to me. Maybe this person that you're talking to told you something in the past that turned out to be true. Maybe you didn't believe it, and then you discovered later that, wow, they were telling me the truth. The next time you deal with them, you will perceive them as honest. Could be that third-party thing, right? My neighbor said this person could be trusted, or my mother said this person could be trusted, or somebody else said that they could be trusted. And so you have a certain level of honesty. May not be as strong as the first 2 bullet points here, but you have a certain level of honesty. And then, look, maybe sometimes it's just a gut feeling. Hey, well, they seemed honest. Could you be led astray? Sure you could. But these are just 4 ways that you perceive someone as being honest. So how can you use this to get your customers to perceive you as honest? With a new customer and there's no track record, how do they know? How do they know you're being honest? They don't know you. They don't know if you're truthful or not. They don't know if you're honest or not. That's difficult, right? Because you've really got to create some transparency there, and you've got to build the honesty with them. What if their gut doesn't say good things about you? What if they just don't like the way you look? Because that happens. What if you remind them of somebody they didn't like? Because it happens. I've had that happen to me personally. You look like somebody I don't like. I'm like, okay, all right, but their gut's not saying good things about me. So now what do I have to do to build the honesty? And if they showed up and nobody referred them to you, and there's no track record there, and it's a blank slate, how do you create that honesty with them, right? I say third-party affirmation is the single best way. All right, what is third-party affirmation? That sounds weird. All right, it's simple. It's not you, it's not them that says it's true. Somebody else is saying it's true. Someone with no obvious reason to lie about it, says what you're saying, and therefore it must be true. The example that I use in class all the time is, if you're a parent, you're always saying something to your child. You know, little Johnny, do this, little Johnny, do this because of, little Johnny, do it. And little Johnny doesn't listen to you because you're mom or dad. And then Uncle Joe comes walking in one day, says the exact same thing you've been saying. Hey, little Johnny, you should do this. You know why you should do this? And little Johnny comes running to mom and dad and goes, hey, Uncle Joe said I should do this because of... And you're thinking, haven't I been saying this to you all along? Why are you suddenly listening to Uncle Joe? Well, Uncle Joe is a third party. Uncle Joe has no apparent reason to lie to me or mislead me or lead me astray. All right? That's third party affirmation. It's a real psychology thing that goes on with it. You don't have to understand it, just know that it works. Okay? And so if I have a new customer that comes to me and they weren't referred to me, they just happen to find me, maybe they're just driving by or whatever, or they broke down on my doorstep, and they come walking in and I want to create a certain level of honesty and trust with them, then I'm gonna explain to them what the concern was, what it was caused by, what we need to do to fix it, and then I'm going to show them a third-party piece that says the same thing that I just said, maybe using different words, maybe using a different visual, to show them that, hey, you know what? Don't just listen to me. Check this out. All right? Both of us are saying the same thing. We're doing it a little bit differently. We're doing it in two different environments, and it will really go a long way to helping them build some trust with me. Social media does this too, right? You ever wondered why social media has such an influence on people? And it's because it's third-party affirmation. If I tell you something and then you see it on a website, you see it in Instagram, you see it wherever out there in the media, you're automatically going to believe it. It reinforces the conversation you and I just had. So you and I have a conversation, we go, yeah, you know what, I think that too. And then we see it out there in media, and they said the same thing we said, we go, yeah, we're right. Knew we were right. Whether we were right or not, it could just be some yahoo that thinks the same thing we think for no good reason, right? It's the third-party affirmation that works so strongly within social media or just media in general. It really works. Use it. Find third-party sources to support what you need to sell, and you will increase your sales. I guarantee it, folks. Third-party affirmation is a great way to create honesty with customers. If you can use these tools to demonstrate to the customer what you're explaining, they're going to think you're honest. They're going to know you're honest. Because here's the thing. With social media and with the internet out there, they're going to find their own third-party tool that's going to support what they believe if you don't direct them somewhere. So you can say one thing, not use third-party affirmation. Let them walk out the door, and they go home, they start thinking about this, and like, boy, you know what, something's bugging me here. And they'll go start searching the internet, and they'll find somebody out there that will say the exact opposite of what you just told them. And they could be completely wrong about it. But all it takes is that customer going, yeah, you know what, I knew something wasn't right. They lied to me down there. Because, look, you know what's out there and on the internet, right? So use your own third-party affirmation tools. Direct the customer to third-party affirmation tools that you have vetted, that you know are correct, and you know are going to support what you're telling the customer so that they feel like you're being honest with them. I think one of the best tools out there personally is virtual vehicle. I really do. It's got really good visuals. Granted, not every system is awesome, but look, the majority of the ones you're going to use are really, really good. They're great visuals. They've got even better descriptions, I think, when you go in and you actually read the descriptions or listen to the audio descriptions. You can use it to learn yourself. You can take this third-party affirmation tool and you can email it or text it or otherwise get it to the customer. And the customer looks at that, they hear a different voice, they see maybe something different than what you showed them at the service counter, and they look at that and they go, oh, that's the same thing she just explained to me. Okay, now I see. It's visual. That person's voice explained it to me, or I read it in the description. That's exactly what, yeah, okay, I get it. You have access to virtual vehicle. Take advantage of it. Learn to use virtual vehicle to your advantage as a third-party affirmation tool. It's certainly one of the best. Now, third-party affirmation is the best, right? What did I say was better than good? It's positioning yourself as the expert, okay? But you have to use that third-party thing to really make this happen. You can't just walk in and go, yeah, I'm the expert. Listen to me. Even if you are. You've got to position the organization as the source for information. And I suggest using your website. Put stuff on your website. Put videos on your website that relate to those questions you get from your customers on a regular basis, that relate to the core repairs that you provide or the services that you provide at your organization. The more you get on that website and the more you update it, the more of your customers are going to find it when they go searching, because they're going to go searching. You know they do. We pick on people, diagnosis by YouTube. Well, yeah, but you know what? Every one of you does it too. I do it. All right, you know your customers are going to go searching. But if you get that information on your website and you continually update it so that those search engine algorithms find it on a regular basis and move it up the pile, customers are going to start to realize, wow, they've got a lot of stuff out there. Wow, they do a great job explaining this. They must be, if they're willing to put this out there to the world, the same thing they just told me, then they're pretty transparent. You may have to lead people to the website too. You may have to, point it out to them and say, look, Mrs. Smith, if you ever have any questions about things, check out our website, because we've got a ton of information on that website. You can use our website as a resource for your own knowledge. And just doing that is going to tie them to you. It's going to make them believe that you are really honest, you're really transparent, and you're the ones they want to do business with. And then they'll talk about it. They'll share it. They'll share those links. It's really powerful. It's kind of a combination of the third-party affirmation along with some transparency, only it's connected right to you, okay? So I would really encourage you as an organization, talk to the boss about it, talk to yourself about it, but position yourself as an expert for your customers and everyone else out there. And look, if you as the expert doesn't do anything else, it creates that feeling of honesty before the customer even shows up. If they find you on the internet and they say they're willing to put that out there, they must be honest. They're gonna walk through the door with a certain level of trust for you, and that's really, really powerful. And look, if you do this and you use your technicians to shoot some quick 60-second, 30-second video about stuff, or use service advisors to do the same thing, and you put it out there, that what it costs you, it's virtually nothing. You shoot that with a cell phone now, right? And that's good enough. You're going to attract customers with little to no spend, all right? And that's even better, just because of the appearance of honesty. It works, all right? Use your technicians. Customers love meeting technicians. Well, yeah, shoot some video and put your technicians on your website, okay? Because the customer sees that on the website and they go, hey, that's pretty cool. They're putting a lot of stuff out there in the world. They must be honest. I'm going to go see them. And then they meet the technician that they saw on the website when they show up at your shop. Now they feel like you're part of their family. I mean, it sounds silly, but you cannot underestimate this. Even if it's just meeting the technician when they have a diagnosis performed at your shop. Customers don't get to do that enough, and customers love knowing that person is working on their vehicle. It will create trust just because you met them. Okay, bring the customer out to meet the technician, or introduce the technician to the customer at the time of write-up if you have the opportunity to. I'm not saying go out of your way to do this, but I'm saying if you have the opportunity to. I have always been a big fan of putting the technician's name on the repair order, because now the customer sees who worked on their car. It's not some mystery elf on the other side of that wall. Okay, so if you can't position yourself as an expert and using your website and social media and whatnot, and you're not comfortable with the third-party affirmation thing yet, at the very least introduce the technicians to your customers. They love it, and it will create honesty with a feeling of honesty with them. Using your technicians will grow your business and it happens in some funny ways sometimes. It helps the technicians really feel like they're an important part of a growing business, and I can't emphasize that enough. I've seen lately shops bringing their technicians to our classes, and so the entire shop, the entire organization is in the classroom together, and the feedback that I've been given from shop owners and managers is that it has changed the dynamic at work. All of a sudden, everybody feels like they're all in together, and they're not just service advisor versus technician versus owner. Everybody's working on the business together. It can create some feeling of, we're here, we're doing this, we all believe in the same thing, and it will really help grow your business too. In summary, never forget that honesty gets created. It's not a given. All right, you've got to create the honesty, and that's a feeling inside your customer. So third-party affirmation will most quickly gain that honest reputation with your customers, and then they'll spread word of mouth. Okay, use your website. That website, that positioning yourself as an expert, that can really do something similar to the third-party affirmation, but it also will help attract new customers to you. And then at the very least, use your technicians, because by using your technicians, you'll help grow your technicians and you'll help grow the honesty with your customers. All right, think about it, folks. Think about what you can do to create more honesty, a feeling of more honesty with your customers. Till next time, keep up the great work and never stop learning.